Alright, hello again there folks. Today I thought I'd just give you a little walk around my rather aged Nikon D70s. This one is equipped with the 18-70 DX lens. It's a 4.5 5.6. Quite a usable lens, but we're going to concentrate more on the camera than the lens at this point. So I'm going to remove the lens that come with the camera. Basically it's like all cameras of its sort of age, relatively straightforward, all the usual suspects if you like features on it. So let's have a quick look round first of all at the back of the camera here. You can see obviously eyepiece. This is just navigate some of the menu, but basically to scroll through any photos that gives your main menu, and with a combination of holding other buttons on the front of the body you can change the ISO, the white balance and such like, and enter here will enter certain menus or delete with a combination of other keys, which is obviously this one down here, delete. This one here locks the screen if you want to change your point of focus on this one. That locks it and then you use this, but I'll talk about that more in a few moments. On the top, again, it's sort of pretty much standard for cameras of its time, and even now really. Got a manual, aperture priority, shutter priority, program mode and a full auto there, and then various sort of programs there, landscape, close-up, sports, night, that sort of thing, and pretty much standard, although Nikon use different menus than others, but it's all pretty much standard for this sort of a camera this era. 6 megapixel, which by today's standard is quite small, but it's been probably one of my favourite cameras that I have. I've got several cameras in my collection, but I do always seem to go to this one. It's very light in the hand, very comfortable, as is all Nikon cameras, but this is very light. So just have a look round at the minute, and then we'll check out some of the features that the camera has itself. Right, so we'll go to the bottom first. If I go that way, probably be easier. Nothing really much on the bottom other than the tripod socket and the battery case there. This one uses the pretty standard Nikon lithium-ion pack battery that seems to come with most of the Nikon cameras these days of this type. There's nothing else really on the bottom that we can talk about there. Nice snug fit in the bottom there. Other than that, nothing really to talk about. So on the back there, we'll just switch it on. If you go into the menu settings here, so there's the menu. So you can scroll up and down the menu with this. Obviously some of the things are pretty self-explanatory there. So if you start off on the far left of the menu and you highlight the symbol, obviously spanner, if you're going to do something, that's change the settings. So obviously you go in settings, beep, exposure. If you wanted to change it, you just come over and on or off, and then obviously OK it. Scrolling through any of the menu there, you know, you can change the ISO, and yeah, so you know, it's pretty, as all cameras of this type, you know, it's this, they've all got very similar, and sort of Nikon very similar menu patterns to this. Right back to the beginning. There, obviously, just to demonstrate, it's a set of photographs, and you can just go through the menu. Turn it off there. Scroll through the menu. That gives you, that's your flashing, that's a highlight, that's showing you a highlight. You can see that in the top right. That's a, so there's a burnt out part of the program. That's then gives you the settings, what you used. Back to the camera again. That's your histogram, which is very useful. I think the more modern cameras have, certainly Nikon have a colour histogram. And then go through the menus there using that, and then press again back to normal on there. If we go to the top there, you can see that's the sort of current settings that you have on there. The matrix metering on automatic white balance. So matrix metering, that's what I've got left. I'm on auto and I'm shooting in RAW. If you change the settings obviously on here, they will change along the top. Obviously take the lens hood off. You can see some of the settings there, scroll through if you're on auto or manual. It's all, again, very similar to all sort of cameras that they have of this era. I think I've had this one about 10 years. And it's still very good workhorse, very light in the hand. Let's go down to the side here. See there, socket, that's for a remote. You want a remote control the camera there, off a cabled remote, a bit like a cable release but more modern if you like in there. Nice tight rubber seals there. Open this one up. That's your video out, so you can connect it straight to a TV. That one, that's for an external power supply there. Open up that one, that's obviously self-explanatory. That's your USB for your computer. Again, really nice rubber seals there. And on the side here, that's your, you can see that in the picture, that's for your lens. It's autofocus or manual, so you just by clicking it to give you autofocus or manual. This one there pops up your flash gun, but I put it wouldn't come up if you're in auto, only in any other settings. If it's in auto it will pop up if needed, but in any other setting it will stay down until you pop the button there. Not a very strong guide number, I have to be honest, I can't remember what it is, but it's ideal coupled with the lens that's on there. But again, not a fantastic guide number, but you know, built-in flash, you don't really need that. Obviously this is to remove the lens, standard Nikon lens mount, dismount, so we won't go too much into that. This one down here, you can see it under my thumb, depth of field preview. This one here is your focus aid for night time. One of the command dials here on the front. And back here we have again various commands, aperture lock, AF lock, and again another command dial here. That's for your bracketing and for your format memory card, so you press that one and that one there and it formats the memory card. Again, hot shoe, normal hot shoe, but they're obviously not the standard as older cameras because there's more electronic connections into the hot shoe there. I'll open the back up there, turn the camera off. It's a standard compact flash card. Again, nothing exciting about that really. Push it in, pops out the release button, light comes on to tell you it's in, and there we go. If I switch it on again, so it's pretty much lens, or say screen protector, not a lens cover, so a screen protector on this one. I don't think you can actually see through the viewfinder that what I'm seeing now. That's difficult there to see, but when you look through the viewfinder you have a point of focus on the camera which is in the middle, which I have it set in the middle, but this one here you unlock it and then by moving this dial around here you can move the point of focus. If you want it off center, you can move it around to wherever you want within the frame and then lock it, and then that locks the movement there. Again, you can't see too much of the camera on that, but if you want to change your plus or minus, I don't know, you can see it there, plus or minus. If you want to add a bit of exposure or take a bit off, these tend to underexpose a bit, I find this one. So if you want to change a bit of exposure, you would press that there, and you see in my fingers at the minute I've got him set at +3 exposure. If you press it down, you can, it's very difficult to hold and do it with this, or you need several fingers with this one. Let's see that, and then see, by moving the bottom dial I can change the +3, +7 goes up, see that's +1 exposure, and you can go the other way and take it to a minus figure there, but always remember to take it back to the beginning to 0. This one there, that's your matrix metering, but again by moving that, so you see you've got, that's the same I'm using matrix, and that's a spot meter in there, and that's a spot meter with a slightly wider field, if you like, on it, so it's a larger spot reading from the viewfinder, if you like. Again, back to center weighted and spot, so I always tend to use it on matrix on this one because it seems a pretty set, pretty set to leave it there. I always shoot in RAW, and then when you edit, you're not changing the, you can edit as many times as you want and not actually change the quality of the picture within JPEG. Obviously every time you edit and save you lose quality there. If you wanted to change the things like white balance and etc., you would come down and press the quality there, that's RAW. If you see on the bottom there, you change the quality, that's the white balance, that's the ISO. By pressing that now, it's not using enter, it's quality, and we're on RAW. Now I can, as you can see on that, I'm sat on RAW, it's very good, they're sat on RAW, and then by rolling it, that's a JPEG fine, JPEG normal, JPEG basic, there we go, back, then you've got RAW and basic, or straight back to RAW there, yeah. Then if I go to the next one, press it, that gives me white balance. So at the minute I'm in automatic white balance, and by scrolling through, that's household light incandescent, I think they call it, but it's outside light, inside light. That's like your fluorescent tubes, bright sunlight, that's if you're using a lot of flash, cloudy day, can't see what that one is, I think that's indoors, indoor. And that's if you want to do some presets there, back to automatic again. I tend to leave it on automatic. It copes pretty well with most stuff, and in the British weather, you're never having a full sunny day and you're never having a cloudy day, so sometimes it's better to leave it in full auto. This one here, that changes you can lock your exposure for whatever you want, so it won't change. So when you actually take a photograph, you press that one, gently press down on the button there until he focuses, hold that, and that will lock the exposure in. So if you then want to move the camera off center of your subject but keep the same exposure, then you hold that, or you can set it to do the AF lock if you want to do AF. I've got it set on the exposure lock, but you can actually change it within the menu to lock the focus. So again, it's the same procedure, you press it, hold it, then press that, and it will hold the exposure. So if you want to move the camera off the center, then you can, and keep the same focus, so the camera won't try and focus again on the new subject that may be now off center. Again, bracketing, you can change the amount of brackets that it takes, or the amount of exposures it takes. There. That's really it. That's again to the top plate. I'll have a look at the lens in sort of small detail, because I want to do some lens demos later on, but it's a pretty basic standard lens that comes with it. It's one of the better lenses that Nikon do as a standard lens. I've got this one fixed with a UV filter, as I do on all my lenses. Some people say it's a good idea, some people say it's not, but for the sake of perhaps put a bit of colour cast, I'd rather that and protect me front element, the lens there. And down there, auto, manual, or manual, I've got it all set on auto. That's autofocus. That's your, if you were to do an auto, if manual focusing, it's the small ring here. If you're doing you zoom in, because it's a, as you can see, an 18 to 70 zoom, but it's a DX lens as opposed to the standard lens, so it's only to be used on the DX sensors. I wouldn't use on a full frame sensor. So this would be a true 18 to 70, whereas if you were using a full frame sensor lens, it might say an 18 to 70, but it wouldn't be. It would be, do me maths, it would be a 27, I think. I can't remember the maths now. But this one is basically a 18 to 70, true 18 to 70. There's your zoom in. It comes out quite well. It's pretty tight on the zoom. It's not sloppy. It's a very good lens actually, and this one has had a lot of use. So you can see it extends a fair way out. This has certainly had a lot of use, this lens. Go at the top there. I know I'm probably going out of order a bit, but it's just things that I see. That there lights up the, if you can see it there, lights up the display there. I don't know whether you can see that, not very well now, probably not. But it puts a nice little light into the display. You can't see that, so using it at night. And the display, going back to display, it's a very good display on this one. You can see there, it gives you all the information that you sort of require there. So we've got net frames I've got left, tells me I'm in auto white balance, and matrix meter in there, AFS, which is single shot. I'm in raw. That's me battery, full battery there, and there's me metering pattern there, and the little musical symbol down there. You can see that very little musical symbol there. Basically say that it'll beep when it's in focus. But again, as for settings, easy enough. In it, manual works. Sorry, not manual. Auto is not a bad setting, and if you're just doing general snaps, then yeah, stick it in auto by all means. But I tend to use it in aperture priority most of the time. It just seems a sensible sort of setting that gives you, some control without having to faff around too much. That's a thing I'd just rather take the picture. But again, easy enough to change the settings there, but auto there. But as I said, if it's in auto, the flash won't come up at all. It will come up automatically, which is a good thing there. Come out of any other of the modes. Press the flash button, up he pops. Which is a very useful feature. This one there, as you can see, you can adjust this is a stick on rubber or slide on rubber texture for spectacle wearers. I don't know whether you can see down in the side there, but there's a little thing for adjusting the diopter inside the focus screen there, so you can auto that so it's out of focus there. This is just a standard cover with the dust in there. Just a standard cover that he throws on the floor there. But again, it's a very clear screen on this one. Not as good as more modern cameras, but it certainly serves the purpose there to what it's needed. But that's just a quick demo. It's just a nice quality bit of kit. It's quite old now, this one, and but unfortunately it is my preferred camera of choice. I've got a D300 and a D700, which I want to part X and get a D800, but this is my tool of choice, as it were, because it's very light. And now I have to admit, whenever I'm going out anywhere, this always comes with me, and I leave the other stuff at home because it's just such a light camera, and you know, just a nice piece of kit to work. The only thing that would help would be a extra grip for that. They do them for all the other cameras, but it seems that the D70 series, and I think the D50, they didn't really do you know, a battery grip. It would have been better with a battery grip. There are several aftermarket battery grips, but none of them were very good, I have to say. I did try a couple, but none of them were actually very good. But that's really it. It's just a nice, usable camera. Just looking at the top there, that way around, there's your on and off button. Obviously trip the shutter in the middle. There's another command dial here. This one is for your aperture, changing your aperture, because like a lot of these lenses is what you can't see it there, but it's the G series. You can see that very well in there. Probably not actually. Let's have a look. It's the G series in there. It's, don't know how true it is, but most people seem to think G stands for gelded, as in like a horse. I'm not sure, but it doesn't have any aperture rings, so your aperture is controlled by that there. So you switch the camera on. I don't know if you can see in there. By turning that, I can. That would be if I was in aperture priority, of course. How long have I had this camera, you all say? Right, I don't know if you see it, but you can, by moving the wheel round, you can change the aperture. And obviously see your shutter speed changing there. Which is a nice feature. It's at the front, a very nice feature there. It comes to hand, it's a very comfortable camera. As you can see, it fits nicely in hand, and everything when you're photographing, everything comes to hand for changing the aperture there on and off. Obviously some of the features are a bit of a pain, because if you're trying to change your exposure plus or minus, you have to hold that and then use the wheel, and it can be a bit of a fiddle, but I think most cameras are like that, very well put together, not overly heavy. And yes, a really nice bit of kit, and I will still continue using it, probably in favour of everything else, simply because it is very light. I hope you've enjoyed the sort of demonstration of my little camera, albeit probably not as technical as some, but I just like taking photographs, so I tend to, you know, if I like it, then I'm going to want to tell people about it. It's certainly a nice piece of kit. By no means a brilliant camera, but as camera goes, it does what it's supposed to do, does what it says on the tin, and I've certainly worked it quite hard, and it's still going strong now. So it's a nice little demo. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed again another one of my videos. I've tried to sort of show you from a user point of view as opposed to a technical point of view, so I don't want to go into too much into specs and all that, because at the end of the day I feel that you want to take photographs, not talk technical. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with another one sometime, I'm sure. See you for now.